As bad as passing the CR is, as I said, allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
Well, shutdown averted. Senate Minority Leader Democrat Chuck Schumer rallying the votes to get President Trump's continuing resolution over the line. But now members of his own party want to primary him as they say he caved to Trump. Well, we are joined by longtime advisor to President Trump. There he is, my friend, Roger Stone. Roger, first of all, what did you make of all this back and forth drama? And then Schumer says, OK, I'm going to allow the vote to go forward. And now AOC is in there saying she's going to primary him. It looks like it's almost a Democrat civil war. Your thoughts?
Well, Rita, I think it speaks to the fundamental change in the Democrat Party. The old Democrat Party of John Kennedy and Harry Truman, the party that believed in capitalism, free enterprise, strong national defense, a party that was, a little more liberal than ours, but still patriotic. That party no longer exists. And corporate Democrats like Chuck Schumer are now vulnerable. Let me remind you that AOC defeated Joe Crowley, who's not only a member of Congress, but the head of the Queen's Democrat Party machine, to win her seat to begin with. So if she is serious about challenging Chuck Schumer, number one, she will have no trouble raising money. There's plenty of money on the radical left. They would funnel millions of dollars into her campaign through Act Blue, may or may not be legal money, but she could give him a real race. If I were Chuck Schumer, I'd be pretty panicky today. I think, while I'm not a fan of hers, obviously, and by the way, Rita, yesterday I saw her opposing President Trump's cuts in Social Security and Medicare, neither one of which he has proposed or will support, because she's still a demagogue too. But there is fratricide in the Democrat Party, and she could be a real problem. I'm really praying that she not only wins the Senate seat, but then runs for president. I would love to see her as the Democrat presidential nominee in 2028.
Oh, boy, because she's so far to the left, right? That would be an interesting one to run on. By the way, speaking of the left, boy, these protests this week, Roger, I couldn't believe when suddenly it was sort of the pop-up protest that took place in the lobby there of Trump Tower in New York. They snuck in and then they took their jackets off, and then they had all the same signs, all the same chanting, free Mahmoud Khalil, we want justice. What's your reaction when you see this and the fact that they're getting so emboldened that they're also showing up at the president's, one of his residence?
Yeah, I find it deeply disturbing. Look, Rita, like you, I believe in free speech, and people have a right to say whatever they like. But as I said in your previous panel, when you're advocating violence or when you're actually engaged in violence, that's a problem. This was an illegal invasion. They had no permit for a demonstration there. And being that close to the president's residence, I think poses a danger. But it shows how emboldened they are. They're apoplectic about the policies of the Trump administration, including a hardline policy of deporting criminals, terrorists, and others who advocate violence who are here illegally. I don't know why they're surprised, because the president went through an entire campaign, and at every stop, he told you exactly what he was going to do. There are no surprises here. He is actually doing something we've rarely seen in American politics. A political leader who actually does what he says he's going to do. And the left can't seem to get over it.
Yeah, you're right. Promises made, promises kept. Speaking of which, Roger, this was just coming out. This is a New York Times report, and President Trump is currently weighing a travel ban on 43 nations. They include Iran, Libya, and others. Well, given that we've seen increased displays of anti-Semitism in our nation, isn't this a good idea? What's your reaction to the thought that he's looking at sort of the staggered level of potential travel bans?
No, I think it is incredibly realistic. Remember, Rita, he imposed a travel ban early in his first presidency. The left went completely insane, but he turned out to be right. We have to come to grips with the fact that radical Islam is a serious danger to this country. Biden tried to ignore it, pretend it wasn't true. You weren't even allowed to say the word radical Islam if you were in his administration. But Trump is a realist. God knows how many terrorists and how many weapons crossed illegally over our border during the 4 disastrous years of Joe Biden. So the left will scream, but Donald Trump will always put America first, and he will always protect the lives of Americans. There's a new sheriff in town. The Democrats better get used to it.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.